34.5 in this one. All right, folks, we got some college basketball action, so we're going to sneak into that. And I'll tell you what, this college show that I'm going to do right now, very interesting because I'm probably going to cover a lot of teams that you might not even heard of, very obscure, bizarre regions of the United States. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it because this is definitely going to be an interesting segment to the show here. All right, Dartmouth takes on Marist, 11:30 a.m. That's going to get started here very shortly. It might already be in progress once I upload this video. But anyway, Dartmouth, Marist, 11:30 a.m. Marist opened the betting as the 1-point favorite and the total at 140.5. Since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing Marist take a little money. We're also seeing significant movement upward. Marist is now minus 1.5 with the total moving upward to 144. So once again, Marist open -1 up to minus 1.5. Total open 140.5 up to 144 even. 53% are still leaning Marist. 55% still leaning toward the over. And at the moment, Dartmouth is plus 105 for some money line cash. Now, Marist is 4-1 against the number overall for the year. They've also successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4 away from home. Meanwhile, on the Dartmouth side of things, they failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 themselves. They're also just 1-7 straight up in their last 8 ball games dating back to last season. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Marist -1, getting the job done against the number. All right, next game might actually be on our board here. No. Yeah, it is. There we go. Alabama at UCF, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Golden Knights of Central Florida opened the betting as the 6-point favorite, and the total at 133.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're only seeing movement on the total right now, a little movement upward. UCF opened and remains the 6-point favorite. Total open 133.5 up to 134 even. So UCF -6, total up to 134. 52% are now leaning towards Alabama, 68% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Crimson Tide are plus 230 for some money line cash. Now, Bama, I'll tell you, if you like them catching the points, just keep in mind, they failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 so far this season. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 away from home. Really bad against the number. Just 1-5 ATS overall, 1-4 ATS in their last 5 away from home. Meanwhile, on the UCF side of things, pretty good against the number in the early going here. 5-1 ATS overall. They're also covering 80% of their ball games when laying the points. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean UCF -6, getting the job done on their home court. All right, here's where we become a little bit obscure. No, we have another one. There it is. Sacred Heart, Boston College. All right, we have a couple games on the board here. Sacred Heart, Boston College, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at BC. Now, Boston College opened the betting as the 20-point favorite, total at 154. And since those markets opened this one up, the bettors are firing away, no hesitation. We're seeing movement toward BC here. We're also seeing movement toward the over. So right now, BC is -20.5. Total moved upward to 154 and a hook. So once again, BC opened 20, now 20.5. Total open 154, up to 154 and a hook. And at the moment, Boston College is -500 for some money line cash. Now BC, 3-1 to the over in their last 4. They've scored 73 points or more in 4 out of their last 6. Meanwhile, on the Sacred Heart side of things, they're 6-0 to the over overall for the year, 5-0 to the over in their games away from home. They're also 5-0 to the over when the line was more than 145. So I'm not so concerned about laying the big number here or catching the big number, but I do like a play on the total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the over 154.5 in that game here. All right, now here's where we start to get a little bit dicey when it comes to our schools. Coppin State at James Madison, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at JMU. The Dukes of James Madison open the betting as the 18-point favorite and the total at 141. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a slight fade of JMU. We're also seeing action toward the under. So right now, JMU is -17.5 with the total moving downward to 140 and a hook. So once again, James Madison opened 18, now 17.5. Total open 141, down to 140 and a hook. And at the moment, JMU is minus 500. I'm sorry, minus 5,000 for some money line cash. Now, I don't expect you to know much about these teams when it comes to the trends or the numbers. That's why I have it. All right? I'm going to let you know what's going on here. JMU, 5-1 to the over in their games overall for the season. 3-1 to the over in their games at the current total. And 5-1 to the over, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. Meanwhile, on the Coppin State side of things, same song and dance. They're 6-1 to the over for the year, 6-1 to the over in their games away from home. They've also gone over in 4 out of their last 5, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm not worried about catching the big number. I'm not worried about laying the big number. I like a play on the total. Give me the over 145.5 in that one. All right, next game. This is another doozy. Central Connecticut taking on NCAAM. That's North Carolina A&T. That is a 7:30 tip-off at North Carolina A&T. Now, Central Connecticut opened the betting as the 3-point favorite, the total at 145.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing half-point moves on both the spread and the total. Right now, Central Connecticut is 3.5, with the total moving downward to 145 even. So once again, Central Connecticut open -3, up to -3.5. Total open 145.5, down to 145 even. And at the moment, Central Connecticut is -165 for some money line cash. Now, Central Connecticut is 6-0 against the number overall. Perfect 6-0 ATS overall for the year. They're also a perfect 5-0 ATS in their games on the road. They're also 6-0 to the over for the year as well. 5-0 to the over in their games away from home. Meanwhile, on the NCAAM side of things, they're 3-0, 3-1 to the over, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. So I think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this one, despite the downward movement on the total. I'm going to fade the public on this one. Give me the over 145 in the Central Connecticut NCAAM matchup there. All right, next game. Austin Peay, however you want to say it. Austin Peay at Troy. 8:15 tip-off at Troy. Now, the Trojans open the betting as the 4.5-point favorite, and the total at 148.5. And since the markets opened this one up, I don't know if it's because of a lack of action or there's a ton of action on either side, but we're not seeing a lot of movement on the spread or the number here. Same spread right now, but we did see a 0.5 point move downward on the total. So once again, Troy opened 4.5 and remains as the 4.5-point favorite. Total open 148 and a hook, down to 148 even. And at the moment, Troy is -200 for some money line cash. Not really going to go too far into it on this one. Just keep in mind, Austin Peay has failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 for the year. They're also just 1-4 ATS in their games away from home. So I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Troy -4, getting the job done against the number on their home court. All right, next game. North Arizona taking on UC Davis. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off at UC Davis. UC opened 7.5 with the total at 139. Since those markets opened this one up, UC Davis is taking a little money. We're also seeing movement toward the over right now as well. UC Davis is -8 with the total moving upward to 139 and a hook. So once again, UC Davis opened 7.5, now 8. Total open 139 up to 139 and a hook. And at the moment, UC Davis is -350 for some money line cash. Now UCD, not very good against the number this season. They failed to cover in 6 out of their 7 games for the year. They're also 0-3 against the number in their games at home as the official home team. UC Davis is also 0-2 against the number as the official home favorite. They're also 0-4 ATS, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I wouldn't describe North Arizona as a potential juggernaut, but I do think they have enough to keep it within 8. So give me North Arizona +8, getting the job done against the number as the underdog. All right, next and final game for the show. This is a doozy as well. You may not have heard of these teams either. I'm talking about Cal Baptist at UC Riverside. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off at UC Riverside. All right, UC opened the betting. Actually, this one opened up as a pick'em contest with a total at 141.5. And since those markets opened this one up, UC Riverside's taking a little money. We're also seeing some slight movement downward on the total. So UC Riverside now -1 with the total moving downward to 141 even. So once again, UC Riverside opened up as a pick, now -1. Total open 141.5, down to 141 even. And at the moment, UC Riverside is -$1.25 for some money line cash. Now, UCR is 5-1 to the under overall, 2-0 to the under in their games at the current posted total. UCR is also 4-1 to the under, taking on teams scoring more than 72 points per contest. They're also 80% to the under, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I don't expect a whole lot of scoring in this one. I'm not so concerned about the sides, but I do like a play on the total. Give me the under, 141 in that one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I just want to quickly remind you, once again, to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just pause this video right now, open up your browser, and just type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. Link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And at this point, we're probably pretty good friends and emailing each other back and forth on our private emails. But anyway, once again, that is going to do it for me. And as always, thank you for watching this program. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information. I loved having you. And please don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.